Investigators do say they have a suspect. The armed, masked man seen on the 84-year-old's doorbell cam video the night she was kidnapped. They're asking for footage from neighbors as well. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti in Tucson.
Investigators are concentrating on a 2-mile radius surrounding Nancy Guthrie's home. They're looking for video from January 31st to February 2nd that may show any vehicle or person that appears out of place.
The FBI has doubled its reward to $100,000. The clock is ticking down to another possible partial government shutdown. Hold up for Democrats, immigration crackdowns. Correspondent Nicole Killian from Capitol Hill.
The Senate tried and failed to pass additional funding in a pair of votes Thursday. Many Democrats oppose additional money for ICE, which is part of DHS, until significant reforms are made to agents' conduct after 2 deadly shootings of U.S. citizens last month in Minneapolis. The potential shutdown could affect a host of other agencies within DHS, including FEMA, TSA, and the Coast Guard.
Hopeful news on consumer prices. They were up 2.4% in January. That is down from 2.7% in the month before and less than analysts expected. Bank rates, Mark Hamrick.
The Fed does not see inflation hitting its 2% annualized target until 2028. And for all of this year, it recently said that it looks for its preferred gauge of inflation to rise about 2.5% in 2026.
Classes at South Carolina State University are canceled today after a deadly shooting on campus last night.
The school says 2 people were killed and 1 was wounded in the shooting at an on-campus apartment. The victims' identities have not been released. The campus was locked down for 8 hours overnight. Sophomore Justin Woods was finally able to return to campus early this morning.
I just want all my fellow students to be safe out there.
After a pair of shootings during homecoming celebrations in October, in which a woman was killed, South Carolina State added more security patrols and more fencing along its perimeter. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
2 Americans, a French astronaut and a Russian cosmonaut, are on their way to the International Space Station this morning.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Dragon, and Godspeed Crew 12.
They blasted off from Cape Canaveral to replace the crew that came home earlier last month when one member developed a medical issue. They're expected to spend at least 8 months at the ISS after they arrive tomorrow afternoon. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsor.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Whether it's due to job loss, a divorce, a new business venture, or you just didn't file your taxes, don't lose hope. Powerful relief programs are now available that can help you and may reduce or even eliminate what you owe the IRS. With the cost of living affecting millions across the country, Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying anyone with $5, $50, or even $500,000 in back taxes to the IRS to call to get relief options. With over 1,000 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, TRA is America's trusted choice for real tax relief. Relief options are now available that can give you a fresh start and peace of mind. End your tax nightmare today by calling our tax relief hotline. Dial 800-390-8432. 800-390-8432. That's 800-390-8432. Or visit TRA.com. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for
local news brought to you by the Mississippi Candy Company, which has a huge selection of chocolates, gummies, popcorn, and more. Mississippi Candy Company on Dees Drive in Gluckstadt.
A body pulled from the Pearl. Today, mostly sunny with a high at 73. Tonight, mostly clear with a low at 55. 74 Saturday with rain possible in the afternoon. Then heavy rain likely overnight Saturday, possibly with some thunderstorms. Sunday, a 90% chance for rain all day with a high at 68. With news on 103.9 WYAB, I'm Chris Davis. No ID yet on the body of a man pulled from the Pearl River near State Street downtown Thursday morning. But that body has been sent to the state crime lab for all of the appropriate testing. Someone who was fishing spotted the body and called for police just after 10 a.m., with cops finally finding the body about an hour and a half later. You may remember hearing about the killing that happened on Brown Street Monday, where a man's body was found shot several times. Now the woman police believe did that has been arrested at an apartment complex in Natchez, says the Adams County Sheriff's Department. Tatiana Shardy Johnson has been brought back to Jackson and charged with murder. This one may be especially pertinent to some residents of apartment complexes who have become victims to this type of activity. A bill that passed in the state house this week makes it a crime for landlords to misuse money paid to them for tenant utility bills. Fines start at $1,000 and go up to $25,000 with possible prison time. They're calling it a strategic realignment in Lee County schools. Lee Central and Lee County High Schools are merging, says Superintendent Will Russell. He says that'll allow the district to offer better extracurricular programs and provide more academic opportunities. Mississippi's gas average steady at $2.44 for a gallon of regular, says Gas Buddy. You've got more news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps, and more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions, at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We accomplished that.
More testosterone for your morning drive.
But when you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal. And they don't care. And everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now. And I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a motherfucker like me.
Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added talk radio. It's award-winning podcaster, Clay.
Boom goes La Dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here inside the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. Want to thank Chip Matthews for sitting in first hour. That was a fun time going down memory lane there. I want to thank everybody who texted in their favorite bars, restaurants, nightclubs from back in the old school days. Real quick, speaking of bars and restaurants, maybe some of y'all are looking to do something this weekend, but you don't feel like getting out. Like tonight, for example, is the Big Brandon Mardi Gras parade right there in downtown Brandon. Maybe you got a float. Maybe you're just going to sit at the house. Maybe you're going to sit around and watch. Why don't you swing by 042 Wine and Spirits right there in Brandon and pick up a bottle of your favorite, well, wine or spirit. They got over 400 different wines to choose from, 200 different bourbons and whiskeys, 50 ready-to-drink cocktails, 50 or more bourbons, 50 or more tequilas, 50 or more vodkas. They got it all. I said vodkas, and I meant, tequilas, vodkas, gins. Man, look, they got more than you can shake a stick at. And they also got some of that, speaking of Mardi Gras parade, they got some of that Gambino's Bakery King Cake Rum. It is I keep 2 bottles year round in the fridge because they only release it once a year. So I grabbed 2 bottles, stick them in the fridge or the freezer. It was kind of crazy. I drank so little last year. I had 2 bottles when it came time to buy 2 more bottles this year. So now I have 4 bottles. We'll see. That's probably going to last me about 4 years. I don't think I'll need any next year, but who knows? Anyway, swing by today. Check them out. Locally owned, award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits. And, of course, do not drink and drive and enjoy yourselves. All right, now we are doing something we're going to do a little test thing here. I've got Sean Yerkeron, my favorite attorney and yours, joining the live stream from his home studio. So if there's any technical difficulties, it is not on the radio station. It is 100% on us doing a test deal here.
It's on me. It's on. Just put it on me.
Well, I can hear you. You can hear me. So,
yeah, I can hear you.
then everybody should be able to hear. If you're watching in the live chat, give me a thumbs up if you can hear Sean and I good without any kind of echo or anything crazy. That would be great. What we're going to discuss here is the Trinidad Chambliss verdict came down late yesterday, and I'd been following that, not close, but with anticipation. My gut feeling the whole time, Sean, was he was going to get the waiver. I thought it would be crazy if he didn't. From the judge, I knew the NCAA had denied it, but from the judge, I was like, they needed to set some precedents for this thing, and I think they did. What are your thoughts on this? Just to let everybody know, Trinidad had played 2 years of JUCO and then 2 years of major college, and he's saying that he deserves to play 4 years. Isn't that the gist of it?
Yeah, I think because the issue was he's got a medical waiver. He believes that he should have one from 2022 when he played for Ferris State. And when he injured himself, I think he played for a few games that season. So that's kind of like the crux of the issue. And this judge, it's kind of interesting, Clay. There's kind of so many patchwork rules the way the NCAA litigation has been going over the last several years, ever since NIL and the transfer portal and those things. And so the judge here is, he's putting an injunction. It's not really a final ruling. It's just an injunction. So it's saying he can play until there's a final ruling. Well, that's going to be the end of the 2026 season, and then he's done. I mean, that was the point of it too. But so the judge said that he felt that it would be irreparable, what's called irreparable harm. That was the point of the injunction if he was not allowed to play. And so they're allowing him to go through the process. And the next step for the NCAA is to appeal to the Mississippi Supreme Court if that's what they want to do. I don't know. I read last night they may not even take that option, though, because you can imagine, and I was telling you last night, how that's going to play out for them. I mean, you got majority of the justices on the Mississippi Supreme Court are Ole Miss grads. I mean, and then you got Lafayette County Chancery Judge, is in Oxford. He's elected guy. I don't think Trinidad was going to lose. That's just not the way I saw this playing out.
And I told you, I said, what? I didn't even think about that. That is an excellent point. And Bourbon Diplomacy over on X says he didn't play at all in 2022. So thank you for clearing that up.
Okay.
So he missed that entire year. So that's what this hoping to get this year back or get that year back now. Sean, look, I'm just, being a big Mississippi State fan, I should be hoping for him to get the hell out of Oxford as quick as possible.
Absolutely.
As far as like an on the field product, but
right.
The human being in me and wanting to see this young man not lose out on $6, $7, $8 million, whatever he stands to make this year, between NIL money, more sponsorship, just between endorsements, everything, I thought it would be a damn shame. And just as a football fan, remove my Mississippi State versus Ole Miss, the Egg Bowl nonsense out of the way. Just as a football fan, that young man was one of the most exciting players in the country to watch this year. Yeah. And I'd be lying if I said I ain't cool running that back one more time and getting to really appreciate him, getting to see him maybe run for a Heisman. Also, with Lane Kiffin gone, with Charlie Weiss Jr. gone, we're going to see who was the magic. Was it a little bit of both, or was it Trinidad, or was it Lane and company? So I just kind of want to see that, like when Brady leaving and winning a Super Bowl without Belichick. With Lane gone, I know they were only together 1 year, right? But with Lane gone, can Trinidad capture that magic without that offense? And I know that they brought in a guy that had worked with them before, so the offense is going to stay similar.
Yeah.
But staying similar and being able to call it in live game action is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's true. It's just good for Mississippi. It's kind of, if we go back 12 years ago, God bless now, or even 13. When Dak was here, I think a lot of us, even that are, I'm an Ole Miss fan, Ole Miss grad, Ole Miss law, we're fans of Mississippi State during that time because it was just so good for the entire state. Like having Dak there, how good Mississippi State was in that 2014 season. So I think, I think that's kind of the same thing now, what we're seeing with Ole Miss, where everybody's kind of coming together because we don't get these opportunities that much in the state. We just don't. And you got to hold on to them while you can.
Well, Ole Miss has had some really good players come through lately, but you were getting them for like 1 year at a time.
Yeah.
So you weren't really getting to like Jackson Dart and now Trinidad Chambliss, who we'll get to see 2 years in a row, or at least with Dak, we had him for 4 years and he was a starter for 3.
Right. He came in that 2013 season. Right? He started coming. Yeah. Was it the Egg Bowl he started playing in, or I can't remember.
He came in the Egg Bowl. He played like sporadically here and there. We called him Baby Tebow. He would come in and run a touchdown in the red zone, stuff like that. But so maybe he was just a starter for 2 years, the 14 year and the 15 year, his senior year. But I thought he had started more games in 13. But either way, to get to see him as a starter for 2 years in a row, barring any injuries or anything. And there was another thing, the quarterback they had brought in, there was a lot of whispers that he's not quite ready to be the starter. So just from an on-field perspective, you got a chance to do some big things. Let's go back to the legal aspect of it more than on the field. So something that I thought was really wild that Brad Logan had reported from inside the courtroom was before the verdict was read, the NCAA attorneys got up and walked out of the courtroom like before the verdict was read.
He read his order, right? Yeah, I'd think you get held in contempt for something like that. I can't imagine not appearing for when the court. I mean, especially if the court has said, I'm going to convene at, such and such a time and read my order. Cause that's what, it's not the jury verdict. It's the order of the court. And so I would think that I listened to the video. He sounded like he was pretty pissed off, and I would have been too, if I was the judge. And they were out of state lawyers, were they? They were out of state lawyers, weren't they? The NCAA lawyers.
Yeah. I would think so.
Local practitioners wouldn't have done that because they got to practice before that judge all the time. So they would have been there, I would imagine. Or I don't know. Actually, that's a good, now I haven't thought about that, Clay. How many local Mississippi lawyers would have taken that case to help the NCAA? Like, I don't know that they would. Like, if you practice in Lafayette County, you're like, do I want to try to prevent Trinidad Chambliss from getting a waiver? I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Now, here's a great thing, because when you say that, it makes me think of that SEC catchphrase. It just means more. Now, I don't know a single attorney that wouldn't take any murderer's case, no matter how bad it is, right? Because that's a challenge, right? If I can get this guy off, it's still going to be high profile, win, lose, or draw, right?
Yeah.
So you take that case for the name for a multitude of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
There's no moral conflict there. But hold on a dang minute. I can't go and take a chance of making every Ole Miss fan angry at me, especially considering their tentacles being throughout the legal system like they are.
Oh yeah, I mean, every courtroom you walk into the state, somebody's an Ole Miss law grad, so you got to deal with that's the guy that helped deny Trinidad his waiver. I mean, I'm not going to be that guy. If somebody else could do that. So I don't know. Somebody probably had to do what's called a pro hoc vice, which is you got to have a local lawyer sponsor somebody. And so I imagine the NCAA lawyers had somebody like that. But other than, I have not heard of who locally, and I'm going to look into this today. Was there somebody locally that actually represented the NCAA? Because that guy really needed the money. I mean, he really needed the money if he did that.
I mean, even if you're a state fan, just because of the potential repercussions down the road, you don't want to roll the dice.
No, I wouldn't think you would. I mean, that's just that's not a good position to be in. Just like I was saying about the judge is kind of, I mean, I think that was a foregone conclusion what the ruling was going to be, just like what the results of the appeal would be, which is why the NCAA, I think, is not even going to appeal, is what I read late last night. I don't think they already know. And also the other reason being that the appellate process would last till the season was over anyway, so it's pointless.
So tell me this, just for people that don't know, because I didn't until you just said it. So if it is appealed, this all will go through the Mississippi court system?
Yeah, it'll go to the Mississippi Supreme Court. So and that process you're generally going to take longer than a year, or at least a year. So I mean, the season will be over. So I mean, when you look at it that way, there's no point of appealing anyway. And the likelihood of success, and I'm sure the NCAA knows this, is that it's not very good at the Mississippi Supreme Court, that they're going to be favorable to them. Which is, I mean, I think the whole thing with the NCAA, nobody's really been very favorable. If you look at the court rulings around the country, it's not been very favorable to them, and they know this, and that's the biggest kind of dynamic that they have, that they're worried about, because they're going to get pushed in the situation where the athletes are actually employees, which is what they don't want. They want the antitrust exemption, which they're not going to get, by the way. They're just not going to get that, but that's what they're pushing for. And I don't see that. I don't see that really on the horizon for them, considering that this is actually fun. Clay, this is like the only bipartisan issue in Congress, or one of the few, where both parties are like, yeah, we're not giving you the antitrust exemption because the paying the players is just too popular. It's way more popular than the NCAA is. So the congressmen and senators just don't want to be on the side of them.
Right. So let me ask you this, and you may not know the answer. Would it still not behoove the NCAA to try to go through to get some kind of ruling that they could use in future cases where the Mississippi Supreme Court ruled that he shouldn't have played? And then I guess my question would be, if that was the case, would it go back and potentially put Ole Miss at risk of having the entire season, any win that year, ruled ineligible, or turned over?
I think, I see what you're saying. I think
it would make him an ineligible player at that point. So, or would he be an ineligible since there's an injunction?
Yeah, he's not right. The injunction is going to be enforced until, I guess the
just like the Cam Newton thing.
They could put a pause on it, but I don't see them doing that. And then any ruling from the Mississippi Supreme Court, let's say it goes against Trinidad, the NCAA could use that as what's called persuasive law. Let's say this was going on in Oklahoma, but it's not going to be binding on the Oklahoma state courts. It could just be a persuasive thing. That's why they want some federal rules so badly, to make this like uniform for them, instead of having like a decision in Oklahoma or Mississippi or Alabama that are either, goes positive or adverse to them, but it's just not consistent enough, which I think what you're seeing is kind of the courts are kind of telling the NCAA that we're going to get rid of you. And I think that's where we're going. It just seems that's where we're going at this point.
I do too. And I think, not to turn this into a culture war thing at all, but I think with this current administration and what the NCAA did with women in men's sports, and particularly in the swimming stuff, being able to win men, being able to win women's championships, I think they backed themselves into a bad corner. And now people just have no sympathy for them at all.
And they didn't before, because you're talking about an organization that because even Brett Kavanaugh, who's a very conservative justice, if you ever read his opinion, he says in there, one of the NCAA cases, I know of no other organization that prides itself on the fact that it doesn't pay its workers. Like, that's against the principles of capitalism. Kavanaugh says that very clearly there. And the NCAA has made profits off these kids for decades, generations now. And I think that's kind of where there's a lot of animosity in the public against them. And now you're talking about, I think that's a good point about the women and men and women's sports thing. Then you go add something even more ridiculous like that on top of all their transgressions, and that's an issue.
Well, can you do another segment?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I want to mention one more thing. Give Reggie Bush back his Heisman if you hadn't already. And I don't even know the player's name, but I heard a story the other day about somebody that played in the 92, and I just remember the year because that's the year I got my license, the 92 Sugar Bowl. A player signed a napkin, and they ruled him ineligible.
That was Alabama versus Miami. Gino Torretta got smoked. He won the Heisman that year too, actually. I remember because I was it was 92 Sugar Bowl.
Wow. Yep. Crazy. This is the people we're talking about, the NCAA. All right, let's take a break. We got Sean Yurkaran on the Mazda Jackson live stream with us. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on WYAB. Coming up after that, we've got my good friend and yours, Mr. Fred Shanks, to close out the show with our Under the Dome segment this morning.
.1039 WYAB.
Here at Lake and Glass and Tint, we've become well known for two things: window tint and windshields. Now, when it comes to window tint, you already know that we're the go-to for home, car, and office. And as always, we offer free consultations. So if you're in the need of window tint or windshields, give us a call, 601-946-1000. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram, or at lakeandglassandtint.com. Lake and Glass and Tint, where quality matters.
Pure Air Consultants offers services on your heating and cooling system. It's time to get your heating system serviced. We offer replacement, service, maintenance agreements. It's important because if you have a gas heating system, it can produce carbon monoxide. So you want to make sure you have your system serviced and cleaned to protect your family. You want to make sure your system is safe to run. You can find us on our website at mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com.
Ladies, tired of running on empty, sleepless nights, mood swings, stubborn weight, skin that has lost its glow? It is not just getting older. It is your body begging for help. Hey, y'all, I'm Morgan at Women's Wellness in Mississippi. At Women's Wellness in Mississippi, we bring it all together. Hormone therapy, medical weight loss, and the latest, greatest aesthetic treatments like facials, lasers, Botox, and so much more. This is where wellness and beauty meet so that you can feel amazing inside and out. At Women's Wellness in Mississippi, the best version of you is waiting right around the corner.
Jackson, get ready for the official Dixie National Rodeo After Show at Martin's downtown on Saturday, February 14th. Live on stage, Cowboy Troy, the pioneer of hip hop and country rap. You've seen him with Big and Rich, Nashville Star, and even Dancing with the Stars. Now he's bringing that high-energy Texas country sound straight to Martin's. Don't miss this one-night party after the rodeo. Cowboy Troy. Tickets are on sale now at Eventbrite or visit the Martin's Downtown Facebook page.
Your pool should be something you enjoy, not something you fight with. Hi, I'm Darren with Elite Pools. At Elite Pools, we do more than just service. We take care of everything your pool needs, from your routine maintenance to your full repairs, upgrades, and even complete transformations. If your pool needs a little attention or a fresh start, then Elite Pools can bring it back to life. Visit Elite Pools online at elitepoolsms.com. That's elitepoolsms.com. Or give us a call. At Elite Pools, we keep you swimming.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
When seconds making a play, Short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle. Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
Since 2012, Brentech Solutions has been keeping Central Mississippi businesses connected and protected. From secure data backup and cloud services with Synology to reliable network design and maintenance, servers, and business Wi-Fi, Brentech truly does it all. Brentech is your Ring Pro partner and smart home automation solutions provider. Brentech can handle Microsoft 365 support and even Starlink. Visit brentech.ms. That's brentech.ms. IT solutions that work.
Broadcasting live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Clay.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on 103.9 FM, WYAB. We got our good friend Sean Yorkeron on the Mazda Jackson live stream. But before we get back to that, speaking of Mazda Jackson, if you're out car shopping this weekend, check this out. How about 1.9% financing for 63 months on not just all 2025 Mazda CX-5s? How about 2025 CX-90s? But hey, we got some 2026s for 1.9% too. Unheard of. 2 months into the year, already offering 1.9 on the new year model. That's right, the 2026 CX-50 as well as the Mazda 3 all qualify for 1.9 for up to 63 months. And of course, they come with 1 year of free basic maintenance. And you're going to be supporting a great locally owned business too at Mazda Jackson. You can shop them online at MazdaJackson.com, get pre-approved, check out all the new and pre-owned inventory, the different colors available. Just because they don't have just because they don't have the exact car you want, don't mean they can't get it. New cars do dealer trades all the time. So if there's a feature, a color, something like that you're not seeing that you want, no problem. They'll get it for you, unless it's just not out there. And of course, you can visit them in person. I-55 Briarwood Drive, right over there by Cowboy Maloney's Electric City. That's Mazda of Jackson. All right, man, let's go back to the Mazda Jackson live stream. We got Sean Yorkeron zoomed in. And hey, real quick, I got an announcement to make. Sean and I are going to be doing this again from 10 to noon this coming up Thursday. Andrew's going to be out of pocket, and we're going to fill in for him. So if you enjoy Sean and I getting the band back together occasionally, we're going to be teamed up discussing whatever's the hot topic of the day.
God knows what it'll be at that point a week from now.
But all the news drops at 9 a.m. and it's Friday too. Last couple of Fridays, the Trump administration has been just dropping bomb after bomb after bomb. All the Epstein stuff was dumped on a Friday and so much other stuff. Sean, I think we've covered the football thing. Are you cool with chopping it up for about 5 minutes here on this Epstein stuff?
Sure. I'm going to talk about that at 12 today too. I'm covering for Lindsay also.
So you're going to be on the air today at noon?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to be streaming also?
Yeah, I'll be streaming on my channels and stuff and hers.
Tell people how to find your stream if they're not.
Yeah, on YouTube, it's
YAB.
Sure, it's Both Sides Bench. That's on YouTube, and you can go to or the Yurt Karan Law Firm Facebook page, and it'll be streaming there, or the Lindsay Beckham Show, and she on her YouTube and her Facebook page.
On Facebook, I mean on YouTube, since that's our main audience now. YouTube is Both Sides of the Bench.
Just Both Sides Bench, just
no
3
the,
words. Yeah.
Both Sides of Bench.
No, just Both Sides Bench. Just 3
Both
words.
Sides Bench. Okay, got it. I've been saying it wrong. Both Sides Bench or the Lindsay Beckham Show. Okay. Y'all make sure y'all are subscribed to Sean over there at Both Sides Bench on YouTube. Those subs go a long way. Hit that like button too. Of course, he'll be on WYAB on the radio station 103.9 from noon to 1. All right, Sean. So look, man, you've had a bit of a revelation on this Epstein stuff. When you and I were and I'd like to keep as Lindsay went with it yesterday, saying that you're all in on our conspiracy theories, but
not every one of them. But yeah.
But so what was the revelation? You, a guy that kind of didn't, I don't know if you didn't want to believe, whatever the case may be. I know you very well. You're not a conspiracy theory guy. It's got to be in black and white for you to really wrap your head around it. What came out of these Epstein files where you really said, holy crap, some of this is really happening? Like, what was the thing that hit you upside the head?
Well, I think, back in 2019, it was made to be like, both sides were making like a very partisan thing. I mean, of course they're doing that now, but in 2019, you'd see those memes talking about after he was killed. I'll say that now. I think we can all agree that's what happened. That Hillary Clinton did it, if you remember those. And so it was made into this political thing. And so I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I obviously believed he was in sex trafficking. I mean, I think there was ample evidence for that, and that wasn't the issue. But I didn't understand the extent of the extent of the network, how big it was. And then you saw it trickle down to not trickle down, trickle up, which way you want to put it, to all these different countries. And the biggest one, Clay, that really hit me was I read the BBC a lot. I know I'm a dork and I like, I'll read foreign news, and what's going on in England is incredible. Like we're not doing anything here compared to what they're doing. It's ripping the country apart. You've got Mandelson, who was the foreign ambassador to the United States. He's a gay guy, actually. He wasn't involved in the sex trafficking. He was seems like he was facilitating it in some degree, and he certainly knew about it and was friends with Epstein. Well, he resigned. Now you got Keir Starmer, who's the prime minister of England, and they say he's probably out by next week because of this. And that's for naming Mandelson as ambassador when he already knew that he had Epstein connections. Maybe not to the extent that came out. You have even this is pushed to the throne, to the crown, and where we all knew about the I'm gonna steal Chris Christie's lines here. The prince formerly known as Andrew, that was known about his involvement. Of course, that got more extensively came out the last few weeks about the government secrets I think he was sharing with Epstein and whatnot. But King Charles is now worried that this is going to bring down the entire monarchy, and that's always been I know that sounds funny to people that don't follow that kind of stuff, but the monarchy, of course, is a symbolic thing. I mean, of course, the King of England is the head of state of England, but it's it's a symbolic stuff, and it's really just a tourist revenue generator and a traditionalist kind of thing. Which I mean, that's great. I think those things are important, but the people are the people pay for it. I mean, that's how they pay for it. And I mean, the monarchy owns lands and whatnot and collects rents, but there's they are heavily subsidized, and it's the people of England are kind of like, you guys are a bunch of sex traffickers, and you're sharing government secrets. So Charles is trying to hold the monarchy together, because there are calls for that to be taken down or taken apart completely. So when I saw that, and then there was one thing I read a few weeks ago that really, really tied it together. So when Jeffrey Epstein was a math teacher, he got fired and he got hired by Bear Stearns. And if anybody knows who Bear Stearns, it's one of the most high profile investment banks in the country with no qualifications. And he was hired by a man named Donald Barr, who's former Attorney General Bill Barr's dad. Well, Donald Barr was a longtime CIA agent, and then everything started. And so then I'm like, you put it together. I'm going to try to shorten it up. Like, this guy was an intelligence agent. That's the only answer to how he had his hooks in all these foreign dignitaries, politicians, entertainment, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm like, oh my God, like, these guys are running the world. They are, sleeping with children. It just all hit me at once, which, I know you guys, you and Lindsay and Kim and everybody have always been saying this, and I kind of thought it was crazy talk, but no, it's not crazy. That's what happened.
Well, I just always grew up just being loving conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And I don't even like the term conspiracy theory, but we all know what we're talking about when we say that. And as I've just gotten older, outside of 100% having a conversation with an alien, just about most of them have proven out to be kind of true, especially stuff throughout COVID. I think that's what really kind of woke people up to a lot of this kind of stuff. And then you start finding all this stuff out. And look, even I guess just because I have such low faith in humanity is why I believe the Pizzagate stuff, not because I necessarily really believed the Pizzagate stuff. I just believed that, yeah, sure, that's probably happening. If that makes sense, like my low bar of expectations just made it easy for me to believe it. And now it's looking more and more like that was somehow, some way very likely. Now, we lost Sean there. Let's see here. I think he's rejoined. There we go. Okay. Anyway, the Pizzagate stuff. Now, it ain't 100% been verified, but man, the pizza's in the oven as far as verification goes. And it's disgusting. It really is. I want to say, I hope all of it's not true. I want to be wrong on this. I truly do. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not, but I think what everybody's so aggravated about, and don't get me wrong, people, I'm equally as aggravated that it doesn't look like anybody's ever going to get arrested for any of this. But and we can have a much longer conversation about this. The quote unquote victims that are out there in public, they could just simply say the names and they won't. Some of them said they didn't even know they were trafficked until 2019. What do you mean you didn't know you were trafficked? And they were quote unquote adults too when this happened. So we can peel this onion back. There's a lot going on here with this. Were there some sick people that did some really, really messed up things? Absolutely. Is everybody a victim that had sex on that island for money? No, they're not. Some people are just prostitutes and looking for a payday.
Right, like both things can be true. Like that happened, and that's kind of why I look at it too. I agree with that. I'm talking to a good friend of mine about that last night. It's some people were, prostitutes, and some people were getting trafficked. If you were, though, I don't like. I did see some in the media running with a narrative like trying to say, okay, barely legal. Now that's BS. You know what I mean? Like,
either legal, you ain't.
Yeah, that's the law is the law, and so that. Yeah, it's not Pornhub. I mean, right. I mean, the 15-year-old is a 15-year-old girl, and that's still something that, you can't do. What really, though, hit me about the whole thing is, it kind of should, I think this is a thing that should bring, I'm not even going to call this both sides because are there sides anymore after something like this? It seems like what it is, it's them versus us.
Right.
Like you have the elite, and I'd love Jameson to come back on because, a lot of stuff he was saying is actually accurate. You have the elite that is running the entire world, and they're all rich and they're flying around in jets with little girls and whatnot. And they're having us fight over Bad Bunny and what kind of jeans Sydney Sweeney's wearing, or if Jason Aldean's a racist. You know what I mean? Like, they're having us fight over these stupid things while the rest of us can't even afford a home, or our health insurance premiums are skyrocketed this year. And they want us to focus on stuff like that while they go do things like this, and they want us to hate each other. And I feel like that's like the plan, right? Because they can go out, they can take these girls around, make gazillions, and nobody's got health insurance. I mean, and that's where I am right now with this whole thing, I think.
All right, y'all tune in today, noon to 1. Sean York Karan gonna be filling in on the Lindsey Beckham show right here on WYAB, and of course he'll be on Facebook, YouTube, all that at York Karan Law at both sides bench at Lindsey Beckham show on YouTube. You can find it. It ain't gonna be hard. Sean, thank you so much for jumping in with us this morning, brother. Looking forward to doing this again with you Thursday, right back here. I got to take my break. When we come back, we're going to have Fred Shanks on the line discussing Under the Dome there at the Capitol. What's going on there this week? We'll be right back on WYAB.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
103.9 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck beds, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
The new year is off to a fast start, but you can't keep up if your vehicle is sidelined. Get to Mazda of Jackson and take advantage of these super deals before time runs out. Get 1.9% financing for 63 months on all 2025 Mazda CX-5s and 2026 CX-90s, CX-50s, and Mazda 3s with approved credits, and get 1-year maintenance included in your new vehicle purchase. Don't wait another minute to experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit I-55 Frontage Road.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle servicer? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
This Valentine's Day, be the hero without the hassle. At Green Oak, we're the Valentine's Day experts. We know exactly what she wants, and we make it easy for you to get it right. Choose from stunning hand-designed floral arrangements and gifts online at greenoakms.com or visit us in-store in Jackson next to Palm Bridges Park or in Ridgeland at the Township. Green Oak does all the work. You get all the credit. Order now at greenoakms.com and make this Valentine's Day unforgettable. Green Oak, Jackson's floral experts since 1960.
Men, let's talk about low testosterone. Do you suffer from any of these symptoms? Low sex drive, ED. Are you always tired, depressed? You have loss of muscle mass? You're obese? Maybe you have loss of focus and drive? Then you, my friends, may suffer from low testosterone. Let my buddies over at Men's Health in Mississippi, located right there in Madison, check your numbers today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. Check them out online at menshealthms.com. That's menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
Broadcasting live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Clay Edwards.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Real quick before we go to the phone line, this interview is going to be brought to you by HH Chief Sales in Carthage. Old Mr. Noah Sullivan's the manager out there. Good dude. H&H only sells trusted brands that are built to perform. Rugged, Big Tex trailers, durable CM and Legend X truck beds. H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. Let your truck work hard for you. Let your trailer work hard for you. Don't break your back if you ain't got to. Man, they can customize that thing any way you need it to make your life a little bit easier while you're out there building America. Look, for the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, almost said Stanford, from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Look, you can visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime online at hhchiefsales.com. Just hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do. All right, man, we're a little We're about 10 minutes later getting to my good friend, Mr. Fred Shanks, my state rep, and yours out there in Brandon, Mississippi. So we're going to keep this short and sweet. We got Fred to about 55 minutes after the hour. So we got 10 minutes with him. So I'll shut up. Fred, state rep, District 60 on the phone. What's up, brother?
All good, man. Hey, I want to say, when you brought up that Vertical Horizon Stroke 9 concert, I was there.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Was it not?
I forgot all about that.
My little black backpack bag.
Yeah, and Vertical Horizon took off right after that. They had those. I remember they had two really, really good songs, and man, they blew up right after that. And yeah, I forgot all about actually both of them until you brought that up earlier with Chip.
Well, it was so cool, having grown up going to shows at Hallamals to start being when I became a concert promoter. I had my club, but my club was a little different demographic, being majority black downtown, but I needed somewhere I could do rock shows. It was kind of hard to do it there. It is what it is. So I did them at Hallamals, and we brought Cross Canadian Ragweed. For the first time they ever played in Mississippi, first time they'd ever played a club east of the Mississippi. And that was we brought them to Hallamals on a Wednesday night, sold it out, set a bar record. We sold more beer and liquor for that than David Allen Coe had sold on a Saturday night, which was the previous record. So I was very proud of that. And we did Breaking Benjamin. We did so many great bands there. And they're still
before they made it.
Yeah, catch them on the way up. I saw Nickelback.
Right.
Nickelback, Three Doors Down. Well, actually, it was Three Doors Down was the headliner with special guest Nickelback and Saliva at Hallamals. Now think about that. And that would be awesome. Within 6 months, they were all arena headliners, except when Saliva never made like arena headliner status, but they were one of the big bands, whatnot. But
yeah,
crazy. All right, Fred.
Well, I know you've talked extensively about Brad Arnold, and we had a thing set up for him. He was going to come up to the Capitol. His dad's neighbor is in the legislature. He's one of my colleagues, and man, we had it all set up. He was going to come up really this week, and we were going to honor him and get him to speak. And I was going to get you to come by and hang out. And we just missed him, man. So that was tough.
Yeah, but, man, it's a bad deal. It's a really bad deal. Really hate it for him. But as life goes.
Yeah.
We'll
I know
be there with him one day.
You wanted to touch on. So this week was the deadline week, so a lot of stuff that if anything didn't make it to the House floor, Senate floor as of yesterday, it was dead. And one of the things you and Chip had touched on was the ballot initiative, and I carried that torch for about 4 years on the House side. We had good bills every year, and then toss would just kind of break. And I'm not blaming the Senate, but we just could never cross the finish line with the Senate when I did it. And since then, turned it over. It's went to Price Wallace, who's now the chairman of Constitution. Is doing a real good job with it. But like I said, it always kind of ended with the Senate. So this year, I think the talks were, we had a bill, but let's see what the Senate's going to do, because that was kind of the holdup every year. And then found out that they tabled it yesterday. And what that means is when someone stands up, which it was, I think Angela Hill and Joel Carter stood up and made a motion to table that. That essentially means that the bill is dead. You're tabled it. It's not coming up. Yesterday was deadline day. So nobody made a motion to table that motion, which I know that sounds complicated, but that would essentially have done away with it. Well, I mean, it died. It basically died on the calendar at that point. The catch-22 of the ballot initiative is, and I went to a lot of meetings on this, and I'm telling you, California, amongst many, many other well-funded groups, were eyeballing Mississippi. They are ready to go. They are ready to push their politics on the Mississippi because they would love to have a southern state to control. And we don't have, a huge population, and you have to get, 100,000 plus signatures, which is almost impossible for just a regular Joe to get, right? Sure. It's all about the money. Well, these groups have the money to do it, and they can set up, or say Walmart wants to sell liquor, say Walmart wants to do whatever they want to do. They can easily get 100,000 signatures. It doesn't matter to them. They can get it easily. They got the money to do it. but there's a lot of pressure from the outside groups. And I believe that was what was brought up in the Senate yesterday. People started standing up and questioning, what about outside, dark money, things like that. They're going to come after us on abortion, legalizing marijuana, which I know some people want that. Those two issues were coming. And then, whatever else is in their liberal minds. Because when you go to the ballot box in California, you may vote on 20 initiatives. You have no idea what they do or what they really do. It's Trojan horses over there. And that's what they want to do to Mississippi, amongst other groups.
So we got to figure out a way to keep out-of-state money out of this thing.
Right.
But they can still run it. They can still run it through it's intermediary.
Exactly. Exactly. You're exactly right, Clay. We had Price Wallace had some of that in our bill, which we had the bill originally, and but they're going to find a way. They're going to shoot the money around the country, and they'll find somebody. They'll find a straw man in Mississippi to start an LLC or start an organization, be totally funded by California or New York, any of those outside groups. And I'm not trying to pass the buck, but I'm just saying that's a very real issue, and I know that was coming.
Yeah. It's so rare. I was just going to say, look, I'm all for having this, but it is so rare that a ballot initiative passes. What was the last ballot initiative that passed other than marijuana?
There was one so it hasn't been around long. I want to say maybe half or less than half the states have it. So Mississippi got it in like 1990 or the early 90s is when we got it. And we started doing it. It was some. I remember.
We'll have to look it up.
It had something to do with a fix to. It wasn't obviously term limits, but it was something having to do with something similar to that.
Gotcha.
It was really just a fix for something. And but the other part is at the time how we had it. If someone wanted to do a ballot initiative and it passed, it would be put into the state constitution. And, that may sound good, but say whatever the initiative does, it needs to be corrected or needs to be worked on, or there's a problem somebody didn't foresee when they did it. You got to do something a couple years later. That thing's stuck in the Constitution. And once something's in the state Constitution, it's almost impossible to get it out. And that was another thing. However you feel about marijuana, which I don't really have a problem either way, but that would have been in the Constitution. And I don't, whatever happens there, that being in the Constitution, having a drug or medicine, or whatever you want to call it, in the state Constitution, I just don't think that was right.
All right. Kingfish text in and says eminent domain and voter ID were
there you go.
done.
You go. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I remember that.
And
now.
that may have been the only two things that ever passed out of it.
So, look, I'm for having it, but of course you do have the fear of outside money coming in. But to that I say, there's a lot of right wing organizations out there that got a lot of money. They need to battle that and pump money into it as well. You can't always.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's absolutely. It's on both sides. But what I would recommend is, and I get phone calls every day. I got it yesterday about, hey, I want you to vote no on this particular hunting bill, right? And we have a republic, and that's what we're here for. So I would just recommend your listeners, they got an issue or whatever, you call your representative, call your senator. And if they're conscientious like I am, they're going to hear you out. And, before the session, if you've got an issue and you want to see about passing something, one, it'll show you how things work, and then two, push them to do it and help them, because once you get a bill in, if you're a rep, you gotta work that thing through the whole process, and which is tough to do. But, that's what people do in the meantime, if they want to do whatever.
Well,
hey, Fred, I don't like red stop signs. I want to make them green. I was like, all right, man, let's start working on it.
Well, look, we got 30 seconds here. I like what y'all did in the House with the liquor stuff, especially the potential of opening up on Sundays if liquor stores want to. It never made any sense to me that I could go to a restaurant and get a mixed drink on a Sunday, but I couldn't run to the liquor store and get a bottle if I wanted it. And I would probably never do it, but I'm just saying it's contradictory that On premise is fine, but off premise is a line too far. Make it make sense.
Right.
On premise, you run a chance of somebody drinking and driving. Off premise, at least they're going to be in their house. Fred, we are out of time, brother. I appreciate you. We'll have more time next week.
Anytime.
Be good.
Anytime, brother.
We'll be right back to land the plane for the day on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, guys, kind of ran out of time there. Let's see here. Fix this real quick. All right, man, ran short on time with Fred there, but we'll have him next Friday. And of course, we can get Fred anytime in between if something pops off and we need to have a conversation with him. So, look, enjoy the shows this week. Some weeks have more news to discuss than others. But I thought we had some fun topics. I woke up this morning. I didn't get to do a lot of show prep last night because we didn't get into almost midnight from going to Crochelle's. It was a wait, and it is what it is. I had a great time. Highly recommend y'all going to eating at Crochelle's one last time. If you're not going to go and participate with any of our sponsors, don't regret missing a one last memory at Crochelle's. But I text Chip this morning. I said, hey, we've had a lot of people asking me and you to do a show talking about bars and restaurants and stuff. So y'all's wish was my command. I appreciate everybody. Y'all have a great Valentine's weekend out there. Thank you to all of y'all who tune in and take part in this live stream every day. It means the world to me that we built this little cool community there. And y'all don't know how grateful I am. Y'all allow me to kind of live my dream and pursue this every day. So I try my best to give y'all my best every day. Some days I fall a little short, but it's not from a lack of effort. That I can assure you. But sometimes we have to call an audible, so to say. And we called an audible today. We did Chip, then we did Sean talking about sports and a little dabble into the Epstein because I know some of y'all really enjoy that content. And then we closed out with some stuff here on statewide politics. I don't know that you're going to get that variety on any other show in this state, maybe this country. So you just never know. Try to keep it fresh, man. Y'all be blessed. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. And have a good time. We'll see y'all back Monday, 7 a.m.